Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's time to meet Team 348. Lindsay Huddleston, the SPS Edge. He is the founder of Sports Psychology Solutions, and he is a regular Thursday contributor. The Drive with Jack, that's Thursday afternoons on the Spotlight Radio Network. How's your weekend?
My weekend is great. Nice and hot, and celebrate Memorial Day with a little lockdown, but it's okay though.
Haven't been used to having warm weather and haven't been used to having a Sunday night without Last Dance for a while.
I know, you got your Last Dance withdrawals, but I'm okay. You can always go back and watch the clips from before.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Also, want to welcome Graham Couch. He is sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal and writing some other columns now too. He is also a co-host of Couch and the Rube, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on the Spotlight Radio Network. Graham, Jason Nick filled in for me as a producer Friday, and we were starting to wonder, because he's been in radio longer than you have, if it should be Rube and the Couch.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants that. It's fun to do for a day, but you can only imagine that show. And by the way, to Lindsay's point, I'm already miserable in this weather. Like, I miss January for a lot of reasons, but I really miss January because, frankly, I prefer to be able to put blankets on, and 80 degrees, 85 degrees, it's for the birds.
Lindsay, I can tell you that if Graham were coaching a football team or a basketball team in the North, he would spread so much junk about playing in the South. He'd have all these Southern kids wanting to come where it's freezing.
Yeah, he'd bring them back to the North. That's his thing.
Yeah. The worst thing for you, Graham, is to be sentenced to hot weather, right?
Oh, well, I don't even understand Louisiana. I don't even understand why that's a thing. Florida, no concept of it.
Well, we have a lot to talk about here, and we'll be talking about college football, obviously, Michigan State, where Mel Tucker's program is, 3.5 months in. We're going to take a look at the Big Ten and what the Big Ten is going to do. Lots of different decisions. The University of Michigan head football coach and the university president coming at this a little different way. We're also going to talk about the NFL and Major League Baseball. What is baseball going to do? How close is MLB to resuming? Got to get the players on board first. And we're going to put Last Dance to bed. Got a little different take on one aspect of it. And Lindsay, you're a proud Detroiter. We got to get your take on that as well. We will be right back, starting with our Going Green segment, talking about Michigan State football and basketball. Coming up next, it's Press Pass here on Fox 47.
We became Michigan's first family of law by being brought into people's lives when their lives have changed in some dramatic way through no fault of their own. Chances are we've probably helped someone you know.
Michigan's first family of law.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
My name is Bill Huffnagel with Dart Bank. We would like to feature your local business. To enter to win, go to fox47news.com/bankingonbusiness.
Download the Fox 47 News app, available for iOS and Android.
Engines are restarting, park is shifting to drive. So we're offering 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days. Plus the freedom to shop and buy online. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
Or during the Memorial Day sales event, well-qualified returning employee lessees can lease the 2020 Ram 1500 for $199 a month.
We turn to family during difficult times, and that's why clients turn to us.
During lockdown, I didn't have to go anywhere. They called me every step of the way.
Our family will never stop working for you, because that's what family does.
Find your school and share your dreams. Senior Spotlight at fox47news.com.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin to the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 106 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, whenever the time is right, go Graf.
What's your favorite spot, now in East Lansing to eat? You got a favorite yet?
Not yet, because I got here and I lived at the Kellogg for like a while, right?
Oh wow!
I was living over there, and so and then as soon as I kind of got out of there, and I wasn't really I was going I was eating at the stateroom, and then kind of ordering in, and then COVID hit, and I haven't really had a chance to really just branch out. And really hit the spots. Do you have a couple of spots that you recommend that I kind of check out?
Well,
I'm kind of a foodie, a little bit kind of lightweight.
Okay, you're a foodie. So, I mean, this is the thing though. Some of the stuff I don't even know if it's still open, because like my favorite taco place when I lived in Lansing was Famous Taco. I'm not sure if Famous Taco is still open.
Famous Taco.
Okay. Yeah, Famous Taco was like my spot. Lou and Harry's Deli, that was my spot. And weirdly enough, what I miss more than anything about living there is Quality Dairy. I miss Cutie so much. Quality Dairy dip, Quality Dairy French onion dip, undefeated.
Gentlemen, there you see Mel Tucker with Jamel Hill in his latest Instagram Live, and looking for places he hasn't had a chance to really sample too much. Highly doubt that he's going to do a lot of bar hopping. But what would you recommend? Is there a spot that you would say, would be a perfect place for him to go?
Unfortunately, based on these times, a lot of businesses have changed, are being negatively impacted by what's happening. But a mainstay for game day has always been Woody's. I love going over there. I love the family atmosphere, and it always gets you ready. And they kind of love football too, so that would be one of the choices I would recommend for Coach Tucker. Well,
and that's a popular spot, Graham, for the media. After press conferences, we've gone over there and killed some time between sessions and other things. Are there places in the area, places that maybe are kind of hidden gems that you would recommend to Mel?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Woody's great. I would also, I would hit a place like Harry's Place on the west side of my neighborhood, which I love, which is a popular haunt for us. I think people know how I feel about Front 43 and Cask & Company and Groovy Donuts and my relationship with them, but and that's a long-standing relationship. Ella's Teco. And if you want to get away from the students, the west side one is also a really sweet place. There's a lot of great places locally in this town that are struggling, and I hope most of which will be able to hang in there.
I want to go back to a graphic, Lindsay, that we looked at last week, and these are the 12 verbal commitments to Mel Tucker's first Spartan staff. This is in less than 3.5 months. One of these players, Gabe Neely, Miami cornerback, has changed his all-in Twitter profile from MSU to who knows. What's up with Spider?
I think Spider's getting a dose of reality. He hasn't been able to travel outside of his home in Florida, let alone get to this beautiful campus at Michigan State. And I think that's going to be a possibility for a lot of athletes. You probably have people telling them, hey, if you haven't visited campus, don't make a commitment yet.
Yeah, makes sense. Graham, let's take a look at some of the roster movement. Tom Izzo's basketball team in flux And a lot of conversation this week about Canadian five-star Kareem Mane, who now may be leaning toward Michigan State if he doesn't stay in the draft. And what about Joshua Langford? I know that you had some news on this. What do you think's up with Josh?
Yeah, it sounds like Joshua Langford, if he can go, wants to come back for another year, which I think, if you look at it just from an analytical perspective, makes all the sense in the world, especially in these times, given the timetable on his foot. He's still not back 100%. And I think so Michigan State Izzo is being cautious with it as well. You've had 2 foot injuries now, 2 foot surgeries. You don't want to totally count on somebody. But it does get interesting at this point because if Xavier Tillman were to decide to come back, and if Aaron Henry comes back in the fold, and if Joshua Langford is there, they're full on scholarships. And so then it gets does everybody stick around? And does everybody want to stick around if Tillman's coming back? If you've got Tillman and Joey Hauser in the front court, how many minutes are there to be had? And, and I think that gets real interesting. And so I think they'd like to have Kareem Mane, but there's some questions out there. I think it could be August before this is all figured out for sure.
Yeah, and guys, you know how people react, and the listeners or our viewers, and they grab something and they run with it. And Graham, I think some people got wind of what you had said, and I heard people say, hey, did you hear about Joshua Langford? He's back. That's not necessarily what Graham said. And checking on this with a couple of people Friday, the truth is that he may have an inclination to do this, but they're a month and a half away from any determination whether he can do this. Some people who don't even know if he's going to play competitive basketball again. So keep your fingers crossed for Joshua Langford. And good things happen for Josh. Don't worry about the Michigan State program. We'll be back in just a minute. Our Take It to the Bank segment. Up next, we'll take a look at the University of Michigan. Coming up on Press Pass.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Fox 47's family of stations wish you a safe and happy Memorial Day.
For countless years, Furniture Row has been your local source for high quality and affordably stylish home furnishings. And at FurnitureRow.com, you can choose from thousands of sofas, sectionals, and leather, dining sets, tables, and bar stools, bedroom sets, kids' beds, lamps, and accessories, all ready to ship free right to your doorstep. Plus, furnish your entire home with 7 years no-interest financing. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. Furniture Row, your local furniture specialists.
Engines are restarting, Park is shifting to drive. And to get things moving again, we're offering 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days. Plus, the freedom to shop and buy online. So you can meet the road ahead with confidence. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, helping you drive forward.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
You played at Michigan, you coach at Michigan, you play in a stadium called the Big House. It's one of the most famous football stadiums in the world, holds 100,000 people. Would you be comfortable playing games in front of no fans if that's what it comes to? Where do you stand on the idea of playing games if the fans can't be in the stadiums?
Well, there you go, right? I mean, you could definitely test both teams. You could test the officials and everybody. Can you test 100,000 fans coming into a stadium? Probably not. You know, that's probably not without a vaccine. You probably couldn't do that. So yeah, to answer your question, heck yeah, I'd be comfortable coaching a game without any fans. You know, if the choice were play or in front of no fans or not play, then I would choose play in front of no fans. And I think most of the darn near every guy I've talked to on our team, that's the way they feel about it.
That's Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, and he is with Mike Greenberg of ESPN. Graham, Harbaugh is all in on the idea of playing games this season, wants to snap that 2-game losing streak on September 5th in Seattle, and that is a long bus ride if they choose not to fly. But do you agree with him that they can have football this fall with or without fans in the stands?
I think they ought to prepare like they're going to have it. I don't think he knows. I think coaches have no idea. I think the one thing coaches are good for is having an idea how much of a run-up they really need to make it safe for the players. But a coach is the last person who's going to be able to decide on this. And you see the Michigan president coming out and talking about the idea that he's not sure there's going to be football. Here's why you got to prepare for it, though, like it's going to happen. Because if you prepare for it to be in the spring or starting in the late winter, early spring, and something happens there, a second hot wave, then you lose football completely, and you can't afford that. So you hope you can have it in the fall, and you can have it without fans. I think, or you can have it with partially filled stadiums and certain sort of social distancing. I think you plan for it in the fall because you need to have it, and then if you have a contingency plan for the winter or spring if you can't.
We're going to talk more about that in terms of the big picture a little bit later, but talk about the university president, and Michigan's Mark Schlissel took a very different approach to this, Lindsay. And if he did not directly contradict his head football coach, he made it very clear. And we have a statement from Mark Schlissel. There you see what he is saying, that if there is no on-campus instruction, then there won't be intercollegiate athletics, at least not for Michigan. Why is his perspective so different?
Because there's a power struggle in Ann Arbor. There's a university president, and then there's a a coach named Jim Harbaugh, but I say that tongue-in-cheek because he has influence as well. We've seen so many times that football coaches, basketball coaches are the name and face of universities despite who the president may be, and you hope they can get lock and step and be on the same page for the sake of University of Michigan football and other sports too.
Oftentimes, and we have seen this around here too, the most popular, best-known figure, the #1 opinion shaper, is not necessarily the one who's calling the shots for the university or the one who would assume the greatest liability when something goes wrong.
Yeah, we saw one rainy day when the fans didn't want to leave Michigan Spartan Stadium, and they had to get old Coach Tom Izzo on the microphone to walk him out. They didn't call the university president, they called the coach, and I think that's what's happening right here.
Graham, I want to take a quick look at the Wolverines' 2020 schedule. How many games do you expect Michigan to play before New Year's Day? That could be as few as 0 or as many as 14.
Yeah, I really don't think the game at Washington happens. It's like I don't think Michigan State's game at BYU maybe happens. I think you're going to see something like 9 or 10 games for a lot of teams, a little bit of a late start, conference games for sure. But again, I know not a lot. And neither does Jim Harbaugh, and neither does Mel Tucker, neither does any football coach in this scenario. We're all waiting for more information, but you got to plan like you're going to have football.
Can you anticipate Michigan playing in a game in early December in Indianapolis? Is that going out too far on a limb?
I think you always plan on that. They're usually there, right?
I don't think that's been part of their schedule. We'll be right back. Take a look at the big picture up next.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-922-9827. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-922-9827.
It's an afternoon of nonstop laughs, weekdays starting at 3 on My 47.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. Gentlemen, there you see the seating capacities for all 14 Big Ten football programs, including the largest stadium in the country, 3 that hold more than 100,000, and 7 that rank among the top 25 college football stadiums for capacity. Lindsay Huddleston, what is the psychology for players playing in stadiums with no fans and very little noise?
Jack, that is a billion-dollar question we have not been able to answer yet. It seems since the start of the pandemic, we've been talking about it, but haven't been able to experience it. I would say it was a high school player who gave me some great insight. Your coach has told you to go out there with a job to do, so no matter who's in the stands or not, you do your job. But when you hear LeBron James talk about he plays for the fans, you can see why there can be a different opinion when it comes down to who's playing and who's getting the big bucks to play.
Let me say that they will get used to it. And because as somebody who's covered 7 years of MAC football, I've been on a Tuesday night in November in Oxford, Ohio, Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan, and I have counted the fans, under 300. And so, like Jaden Reed will have had certain experiences they'll be able to lean on. PJ Fleck in Minnesota will have played in stadiums that are empty. And you do get used to it. It is different, but I think the players will adjust fine because you wind up being in that bubble with yourself on the field. And I think the biggest shock, the hardest thing, is the running out of the tunnel. And the lack of energy and emotion. But once the game gets going, I think as fans it'll be a shock. And that's why we need other sports to guide us there first. Because college football is such a fan sport. But if we can see it in baseball, where there are a lot of empty stadiums anyway, and we can see it in the NBA and the playoffs or things like that, I think it'll help.
Someone said, hey, there's no way you can have cheerleaders with mounts and other stunts that they would be doing and no bands. And the other guy was talking and said, no, you can still have bands. They won't be marching bands in formation, but you can spread the band all the way around the stadium, socially distant, and you would still have band music.
Yeah, I think there's so many things that we will take for granted. You almost have to record a game and look at it to figure out what things you're going to remove and keep, because we're so intertwined when we play sports, whether it's the participants or those watching.
Graham, we talk about when are we going to see games. When are we going to see Spartan Stadium with 75,000 plus, the Big House with 111,000 or more, 107,000 in Columbus at the Shoe? When do you think we're going to get that?
2021. I mean, I think even if you have fans in the stadium. Now, when I say 2021, maybe there's a chance in the spring, if we're way ahead of things on a vaccine, that you've got some games in January, late January, that are at Lucas Oil Stadium, or and played in Minneapolis and Milwaukee, even in Detroit, and in that sort of a way into the season. And late in the season, in March or February, you see some games at Spartan Stadium, and you were able to do it then. But it will not be in 2020. I just don't see a way, because think about, for us, it's about us getting comfortable. It's not about what certain people may want or about. I walk around now and I'm still not 100% willing to be close to people. And in the consumer of college football, the consumer of everything, we have to be comfortable. And it's going to take us a while to be willing to bake in Spartan Stadium with 75,000 other people. It just is.
Graham's interest in social distancing, Lindsay, is not why you and I are at the desk and he is off on our auxiliary set. That's another reason. What's more likely, Lindsay, a full 12-game schedule as drawn with conference championships and bowl games, or a limited season, maybe no non-conference games, no bowl games, an abridged season, or a delay and a bet that there's going to be some sort of a breakthrough, and to start a season, a full season where fans can actually enjoy it next spring the way they used to play the USFL.
Wow, never thought we had these choices to choose from. I'll put us right in the middle with somewhat of a delay, somewhat of a season that's a little bit shorter, because the concern is, just like when we went to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship, is that things start and then you get a call and you have to ratchet things back again. So I think you'll see a little bit of it. You'll see some testing of the waters, but to Graham's point, and what I feel, until there's that public health integrity, you're not going to see a full-blown season, possibly until 2021.
Yeah, and I think if you have an abridged season, that's less television revenue. That's gate receipts you're not getting. So I'm not so sure you won't have something in the spring. Graham, some conferences seem determined to go with this, and even some teams within conferences seem determined to do it. Ohio State's talking about bringing people back, and they want to go. The SEC, same thing. Pac-12, not so much. You heard from Mark Schlissel and his reaction to the University of Michigan. Can you describe what a mid-October Saturday is going to be next fall?
I do think we'll have football mid-October, and I do think there might be fans in the stands. Maybe you've got 10, 15,000 at Spartan Stadium, and so many in a section, or however you want to do it, and everybody hangs on to their season tickets for the next year. Nobody loses a ticket place, but it's certain people who have high priority get an option to buy those if they want. It's just going to be different, and it may be a truncated season, but there will be football, I think, this fall, as long as there's no major outbreak.
Might have a lottery to see who gets in. You might get to go to one game. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
And Engines are restarting. Park is shifting to drive. And to get things moving again, we're offering 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days. Plus, the freedom to shop and buy online. So you can meet the road ahead with confidence. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, helping you drive forward.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. That's why I'm there every week, and we'll be again for the area's best takeout till my favorite stop is open for dining again.
The Nationals are 2 outs away. The right-hander kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a high fastball on 3 pitches. 1 more out to go. Here's Brantley. The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books. The celebration is on. The Washington Nationals are the world champions.
There you see the last baseball game that really meant anything. That was Game 7 of the World Series, the Washington Nationals winning the franchise's first World Championship, beating the sign-stealing Houston Astros. And for a lot of people, that was a surprise, but the visiting team wins all 7 games. That had never happened before. Lindsay, what are the chances that we have this shortened, divisionally changed Major League Baseball season when the players seem to have some legitimate objections? See Tampa Bay All-Star pitcher Blake Snell saying, not for me.
Yeah, you have a pitcher balking, huh? Balking at what's happening, no pun intended. I think that's the other part of it, Jack. I think when the players start speaking up, whether it's for financial reasons or whatever reason they speak of, that is going to be the determining factor whether these things move forward as planned, because some of these players are not going to be on board in all professional sports, and I think that's going to put a little hindrance to some of the plans these organizations have moving forward.
Graham, the Major League Baseball plan is for an 82-game regular season, redesigned 10-team divisions with very limited travel, and fans singing "Take Me Out to the Refrigerator." How much of this will you watch?
Well, it depends on what else is counter-programming. I mean, there's a race to be the first sport. I think if baseball is first, I will watch more of it than otherwise. I'm not somebody who usually watches a ton of baseball. I watch the Sunday night games or the national games here and there, but outside of the Tigers. But if they're going head-to-head with the NBA playoffs in July and August, that's going to be tough. With the NHL playoffs and some of the stuff you're hearing there they might be really interesting. And I love the NBA playoffs. I love overtime playoff hockey and those sort of things. That's where your head will be, because those games are so important. It's not that I won't pay attention to baseball, but if it's not out first, it won't get the boost. And if it doesn't come back at all, and they can't get this, there's some labor strife there, this could be, I think, as damaging as '94.
Lindsay Huddleston, what is more likely? That we become encouraged, maybe legitimately, maybe falsely, by the flattened curve, by the reopening, in the interests of the economy, and that this baseball season comes off as proposed, and we might even find fans back in the stands, as Graham suggested, later in the season, or that we are fooled and we are all floored by a second wave of this pandemic and puts baseball in a position, makes it very, very difficult for it to recover.
Tough question, Jack. Tough question indeed. And of course, you wouldn't want that second wave to come back, but that's a reality we have to live with. I think Major League Baseball and all sports are going to have some baseline to say that if things start trending negatively or trending downward, we have to be prepared to stop. Despite us being excited about having some form of sports, we have to look at public health as the #1 priority.
Graham, I've always thought that baseball could lose a month, knock off 22 games, and it would be just fine. Is it possible that baseball will be better with more drama, with a shortened season and 14 teams in the postseason?
Yes, perhaps. I think, well, I've always thought, I don't mind the marathon of baseball. I've always disliked that the postseason doesn't mirror that. If you're going to have a marathon regular season, make it a 9-game postseason without fewer break or World Series and things like that. Yeah, we may find that. We may find lots of things we like or dislike in different sports that are different. We may find that we may see the NBA shift its entire calendar regularly after something like this and find that works better, where you get the NFL and NBA opposite. I think all that's for discussion. And for baseball, they need to listen to that if they see it. If they find something that works, because they are definitely on the decline in terms of national audience. And I think it would make sense if they find something that works as a tweak to stick with it.
I heard a proposal this week, and it was for baseball, but it would also apply to basketball. If you have a shortened season and you can't finish it, you said, okay, it's like high school basketball. Everyone is in. And if you have a 30-team league, the top 2 teams or the conference champions sit out the first round. Everyone else plays a best 2 out of 3, and it's all at the site of the higher-seeded team, so they have a big advantage. But you play that, everyone gets in. No one can say that they didn't have a shot, and you've got the drama that you have even in an NCAA tournament. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially with staying on location and staying close, so you limit that movement.
If it's baseball, though, the challenge is it's a marathon sport where, the best teams lose a third of their games and the worst teams win a third. So you might not get anything close to a true champion.
Yeah, and if you can beat a team 2 out of 3 on their place, maybe you deserve it. And who knows? Hey, the Tigers might win something. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Bill Huffnagel, and I am the president and CEO of Dart Bank. Dart Bank has been part of this community for almost 100 years. And that means we have been here during a lot of difficult times, like the one we are facing now. We have always told our customers we'd be there for them when they need us. That time is now. We take the responsibility to serve our customers and the community very seriously. We are here for them with our lobbies, drive-thrus, by phone, and with technology to provide essential banking services.
Engines are restarting, park is shifting to drive. So we're offering 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days. Plus the freedom to shop and buy online. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
Or during the Memorial Day sales event, well-qualified returning employee lessees can lease the 2020 Ram 1500 for $199 a month.
Catch up with The Simpsons, weeknights at 10 on My 47.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, go to theticketmachine.com.
That's how quickly that changes now. Now it puts the pressure on the Jazz to score once again. Jordan with 43.
rifle. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points. Stockton, Hornacek, Antoine Carr, Karl Malone, and Brian Russell. If they score, there's a Game 7. If they don't, for the second straight year, they go out in 6. Stockton, Harper's on him. Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
There you see the last score and the last stop from The Last Dance. Lindsay Huddleston, you are a proud Detroiter and a longtime Pistons fan. What did you learn about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls from Last Dance? The story, the 10-part story of their 6th championship in 8 years.
I learned a lot. I learned that Michael Jordan definitely was one of the most dominant players we've ever seen.
You knew that.
I knew that, but I also learned that a lot of people didn't do their research and know things about him. I had high school players telling me they didn't know that he wasn't a one-and-done type athlete. So there were so many things, but I also did learn he's still bitter at Isaiah Thomas and those Detroit Pistons.
Lindsay, we will see in just a minute some more about Scottie Pippen, Isaiah Thomas, but I want to ask Graham. Scottie is very upset about this, as upset as he was when he wouldn't go into the game for the last 1.8 seconds. As a guy who spent some time in Chicago, should he be this upset at this portrayal, more upset than Isaiah Thomas is?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. When you have refused to go into the game with 1.8 seconds to go in the playoffs, I'm sorry. That's going to be part of your legacy. That is a choice. The migraine game is one thing, whether you could grit and bear through that. I mean, whatever. That's a little different. But he did have a lot of decent moments that were portrayed. But he is truly a Robin. And I think Jordan said it best. And it might have been episode 3 or 4 where he said, it was during the episodes featuring the Bad Boys. He was somebody that needed to know somebody was alongside him to fight. And once he did, I will have your back, then he was there, and then they could count on each other. He was never going to be, just from a psychological standpoint, he was never the front runner, the front line player, and that's okay. But he was a phenomenal player, and he was a perfect Robin to Jordan.
We talk about guys who were vilified, or certainly their images took a hit. Pippen, Isaiah, Jerry Krause, who was not around to defend himself in any way, and you have to look at the good and the bad with him. He's the one who drafted, or didn't draft, but traded for Scott Pippen after he got Seattle to draft them. They weren't sure exactly who this guy was. And he's the one who took Dennis Rodman and put all these other parts together. And yeah, he made the announcement that this was going to be it. They were going to break this up. But Phil Jackson did have a chance to come back. He was given that option by Jerry Reinsdorf. And there's some other things with this too. Now, the story about Michael Jordan and the food poisoning and the pizza that supposedly was delivered by 5 guys, and maybe that isn't exactly what happened, not the way that it is portrayed. When you look at the 1990s, this decade, and the 6 championships for the Chicago Bulls, Houston Rockets, the only other team to win more than one. You've both seen what LeBron James has done more recently. Is there any doubt that MJ is the GOAT and that LeBron can only climb as high as number 2?
Now, I know this is going to light everyone up. I would say that's still questionable. Only if you take the same amount of time that was put into the Last Dance and do the same thing for LeBron James, you would see so many parts of his game, him living in the finals and all the other things that he overcame that will make it a questionable discussion. I just think if you can put the same amount of attention on LeBron James in documentary form as you did with Michael Jordan, people will still have questions on who the GOAT is.
Graham, I think there are a lot more people who would argue with you about who's number 2. Some would say, it was Wilt Chamberlain, or it was Oscar Robertson, or it was Magic Johnson, or it was Kobe Bryant, than who was number 1. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, I think it's Jordan. I think it's the mentality, right? And look, LeBron is a wonderful player. He is on the Mount Rushmore. But can you drag people with you? And I think nobody did that more than Jordan.
We'll be back in just a minute. Our Lansing's Best segment, looking at the dominance in Michigan State sports.
They're trying to keep their doors open to serve you.
Kona Ice in Lansing is doing curbside delivery, also available for your next corporate event. Kona Ice is the perfect reward for hard workers and those returning to a new way of working during this very stressful time. Kona Ice is the finest shaved ice around.
For more restaurants offering takeout and delivery, go to fox47news.com/open. We're Open Mid-Michigan is sponsored by Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures.
No cap and gown, no ceremony, no open house. But Fox 47 is celebrating 2020 graduates with Senior Spotlight. We want to hear from our local grads.
Whether we are from the same school or even state, we've all been connected. Now is the time for class of 2020 to turn up, because we made it.
Go to fox47news.com to upload your message and we'll share with Mid-Michigan. Senior Spotlight, brought to you by Van Addis Greenhouse and Flower Shop, your year-round full-service garden center, and Holt and Diamonddale Insurance Agency. Call your hometown team today. Catch back-to-back episodes of Law & Order SVU Monday at 8 p.m. on My 47.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, champion.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Lansing's Best segment. Brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority, bring thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for hundreds of tournaments and special events. Hats off to the GLSA for helping to make this area all it can be and will be once again once competition resumes.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap. And the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game. Unbelievable.
That is my favorite outtake from The Last Dance, and some masterful editing there, I thought. Tom, that's for you. Want to talk a little bit about dominance as a spinoff following the Chicago Bulls. And let's look at Michigan State. Let's look at some sports and some eras that were the best. A half dozen dominant MSU eras in 4 sports over 50 years, 2 in football, 2 in men's basketball, 1 in wrestling, and 1 in hockey. Graham Couch, taking a look at those 6, let's start with an easy question. Can you rank the top 3?
I actually can, I think. Well, I would go, first of all, with the football 2013 to 15, 36-5, number one, because I just think it's so hard to do that in that sport for a football program like Michigan State. Basketball, that stretch from 98 to 2001, now they get punished a little bit because Izzo's done it so masterfully since then.
Yeah.
And he's done it repeatedly. If that had never been done again, we might look at it the same way, and that's so hard to do. I would put that number two. And to be fair, I wasn't around during the wrestling era or the first football era. But after that, I would go to the original run for hockey and what they did there as the program was really taking off would be my third. But you can argue that first football run, 1995 or 65, 66. They had some advantages that other programs didn't. I mean, but you can go a lot of ways. To me, though, the first two are easy, and it's Michigan State football 2013 to 15, 36-5. We will not see that again. And that initial rise by Michigan State basketball 98 to 2001.
And if you look at that first football run, two shared national championships in 65, won the UPI title, and in 66 shared the Football Writers Association of America. The only thing about the 36-5 run, and that was phenomenal, was there was no national title involved. And that's the only one of those 7 where there was not a national championship. Lindsay, time to get on the couch. Where's Graham wrong?
It's pretty hard to get on the couch. Graham keeps it together. I would just kind of promote that 1979, that first championship team for Michigan State basketball, because you talk about those guys really set the stage for future dominance. And we have Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, 2 future NBA Hall of Famers, kind of going at it. That kind of just started something that was really powerful back then. And then going back to football, that is something to be recognized as far as what they did with the record, particularly the 2013 and 13, the 36-5. I mean, that's powerful as well. But then after that, you bring hockey in with the national championship. So it's not mixing around too much, but I just really think basketball set the tone going forward.
1964 and 2012, Graham, there was nothing that told you what was going to follow. 64 was a losing season. 2012 almost was. But you could say the same thing about basketball. After Judd's first season, when Magic arrived, lucky they got to double-digit wins. And with Tom, hey, it was 1 year before that people wanted to run him out of town.
Yeah, and he didn't have Magic. You know, he had Mateen, but he didn't have Magic. And there's a difference there. There's still a sizable difference. And I still think what they did in basketball, the way they built it and grinded it out, and the 4 Big Ten titles in a row, the 3 Final Fours, to me, it's a pretty incredible feat, even for this program.
And that second basketball era, that is the one that has sustained. We'll be right back. Cool and Smooth Weekly Awards up next.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
A new day dawns and we greet it with gratitude, thankful for the heroes on the front lines taking big risks daily to keep us safe. We at Dean Transportation stand at the ready with them, supporting our communities in their time of need. We've been delivering food and medical supplies, volunteering our time, and boosting morale to keep spirits high. Our passengers may have temporarily changed, but our commitment to transporting your most precious cargo has never wavered. Dean Transportation, working together, delivering the good.
Know the day's weather before you walk out the door.
Fox 47 News.
I am raising the bar.
This summer,
that is disgusting.
Gordon Ramsay,
bloody delicious,
is 3 times hotter.
All stars, no stars. I'm burning up.
Hell's Kitchen All-Stars.
Worst service ever.
24 hours to hell and back.
The passion's gone.
Master Chef.
You're not ready to go home.
No, I'm not. A sizzling summer of Gordon 3 times a week.
We're going to get screamed at today.
Get out! The Summer of Gordon, Tuesday and Wednesday on Fox, or watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. Joe Bocci is deciding that he's looking for different ways to train. And he said, yeah, I can do this. And here you see Christian McCaffrey. And, he puts a move on that would break ankles with superior speed. Then he catches the ball behind his back. Don't know how long he's been working on that. But pretty good genes. We might see Dylan McCaffrey, a quarterback for Michigan this fall. Don't know about that. All right, Team 348. Who's been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Lindsay Huddleston, let's start with you in our play of the week.
I think the play of the week is going to happen at Disney. It's NBA Commissioner Adam Silver talking about the NBA and ESPN working together to go to Disney to be able to look at making this season come back for the NBA. I think that's going to be great because it's also going to give other professional sports and other collegiate sports a following track to be on to see what they need to do next to get prepared for this new season.
I think the players are going to react to this. Do you think they're going to play any differently? Do you think it's going to be any less hand checking?
I think they're going to move forward and talk about, what is it going to take to move forward?
All right, Graham. What about our team of the week? What do you have for us?
Team of the week for me is anybody at this stage of the game that is still following orders, doing it right, and look, we're all stir crazy, right? But if you respect your neighbors, if you respect your own parents, if you respect anybody else, you're going the extra mile on the mask, you're doing the social distancing, you're doing the things to just protect humankind. And yeah, we got to reopen. We've got to do all that stuff. And we've got to try to do that even now sensibly. But there are some people who aren't. But if you are among the humankind that are doing it right, you're part of the team of the week and the team every week. And we just got, even when you see these videos of people in the Ozarks and all that crap, just keep doing you. Keep doing it right, and we'll get through this.
Graham, I was in Beijing late last July and well into August. And I can tell you one thing the Chinese do better than Americans. There are a lot of things, but one of them is take orders. And when they are told to stand in a straight line for 8 hours and don't move their left foot will be glued to the pavement. They're very good at that. Here, not so good. The hardest thing for us to do sometimes is do nothing. That's our challenge sometimes. All right, for our player or players of the week, we saw the match last year. And Phil Mickelson got the best of Tiger Woods, got that big prize in Las Vegas, and Woods says, this time you're coming back to my course. You're coming back to Florida, and you're going to play there. And then this evolved into getting Tom Brady and Peyton Manning involved with them. Capital One putting up all of this money, and now during the match, Brooks Koepka is challenging Tom Brady to even make a par. Charles Barkley is talking about how he wants a piece of Brady. Brady's game is so bad. And as soon as Brady heard that, he jars a 7-iron from about 125 yards, boom, right in the cup. And the trash talk that you heard out there was amazing. If you get a chance to go back and watch, very entertaining stuff. Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, they won by one shot. Mickelson missed some putts. We want to thank Lindsay Huddleston, the SPS Edge. You can catch him every Thursday on The Drive with Jack. Graham Couch, read his stuff, sports and non, in the Lansing State Journal. And also, every weekday from 1 to 3, it's Couch and the Rube. We'll be back next Sunday, everyone. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. See you next week.